What's up, y'all? It's INHouseATL. I'm sitting here with a special guest, Zay Bcuz.
Yo, so what's up? This is Zay Bcuz. Why? Because.
It's good. So I want to get started. Let's let the people know where they can find you everywhere. Just get into that, and then where you from, and how'd you get started with music?
For sure. So first off, everything is Zay Bcuz, Zay Bcuz. So I'm real simple. You can find me everywhere, Zay Bcuz. I'm pretty sure I got it myself tagged everywhere, Zay Bcuz. So
that's right. Matter of fact, you talked about it a lot, but you can Google you. You know what I'm saying? You're everywhere on Google.
Yes, sir. You can Google Zay Bcuz, and they it's a team of people. I don't even know some of these people, but they putting it together. So, Zay Bcuz is where you can find me. I'm from Stone Mountain, Georgia, but I'm from everywhere for real. Just because I've been able to travel, been fortunate, and I want to travel more. So I like to pick up wherever I'm from.
Okay.
But as far as the music, man, this is something that's deep woven. I've been doing music all my life, honestly, just because my family, they groomed me in music. But professionally, I had to say since I was like 14, so high school days, running.
Okay, early.
Yeah, yes sir.
So in those high school days, did you know music was your thing at that time, or was it just something you experimented with then at that?
So I always knew I had a talent in music just because I was classically trained with my parents involving me in private school. And so I was like taking piano classes, drum lessons, just stuff like that because they believed in, education in a full format. So like fine arts and everything as well. But I would have to say like, I always still had that effort to compose. So I was writing poems, I was writing songs, even in my youth, and leading all the way up until, when I found a professional format of it. But I really feel like when it came to like my influence, my parents had the biggest of that because they used to use music to communicate to me. Like my mom had one music she played, like Erykah Badu or like jazz, hella jazz. And then my dad played more hip hop, like Tribe, Kanye, some of my first CDs, 50 Cent, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Chronic. So it was like seeing the best of both worlds, and what I feel like is a lot of Black influence on music, but just music as a whole, for me to get to see that through my parents' eyes.
I got you. So that was a big influence, especially it seemed like you came up with some really good music, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff that we're missing, I feel, in today's time.
I don't think it's missing. I think like a lot of people don't know how to look for it, and that's something that I think artists that are presenting that type of music, we just got to get better at marketing it. Just because, a lot of this is 80% music, 20% business. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of artists that are producing modern stuff.
Right.
And it's popular, but there's not the lost art form. There's still hip hop to its true core on stuff like NWA or anything that sounds like that. It's still out here. People just gotta look for it, and artists also gotta put it out there.
Yeah.
You feel me?
So what are some of the ways that you've been able to put it out there? Really find your fan base, and because I feel you stay true to that sound as well, that hip hop sound.
So I'm not gonna lie, I definitely experimented. There's a period of time between like 2012 to 2014 where I actually did EDM music.
Okay.
And I thought I was gonna be like a pop star for a while.
Alright.
Had to sit down with a couple of labels, thought I was like the next Black Justin Bieber or something, but it ain't work out. Just because I realized, true to the core, I am a hip hop artist. And so I definitely feel like experimenting helped, because it helped me find my sound. It helped me be able to like, you ever seen those balls that like have the little Lego looking pieces or bionicle looking pieces, and you expand it and like it turns into a giant little ball, and then you close it and look like a little spike.
Yeah.
Dang, man, it was something we played in kindergarten and some shit. But like that's what it felt like. It felt like I expanded my world just to fine tune the spikes of what I had going on.
Alright.
And so like I I did experiment a while, but when it came to actually honing in on my sound, like I said, I gotta thank my parents, number one, for introducing me to like hip hop to its core, but also my mentor, DJ Rossiru, like with just him being who he is and how he helped me develop within sticking true to the sound and understanding what the sound is and its momentum. I think that's what helped keep me in that pace to where I'm still, grinding today.
All right. So speaking about a mentor, so that's Rossiru's your mentor. What's the importance to you with having a mentor, and what are some of the things that it's taught you? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does it help you grow just by having a mentor in your life?
Honestly, first and foremost, having a mentor puts you in a place of humbleness, just because you realize you're a student and you don't know it all. We're all out here trying to navigate this shit on some God level shit. To be realistic, we trying to really figure out what we gonna do that changes the world. That's some very, very powerful thoughts. But to know that you're still a student amongst those thoughts, I think is important. So just having a mentor for that purpose alone helped me stay grounded and stay humble. But on top of that, it wasn't just, I'm gonna go out here and find a sensei, because I got a lot of homies that watch anime, and just watching that, you find out, these fighters that want to find their master that's gonna train them. But it's not something that they just go out and eagerly pick whoever. It's just gotta be a momentum that comes with it. And so I was able to meet mentors in momentum, and he was one of them. And he just really struck a chord with me on what exactly my purpose is and what I'm trying to do in music, as far as presenting hip hop the way I see it.
Okay. And by having a mentor, because there's a lot of people out here who are lost, who are, some who've been doing it, but they just can't figure it out. You know what I'm saying? They just can't. It seems a lot bigger than them. You know what I'm saying? It's more than the music, as you said. It's a lot more business than music. And I'm sure having a mentor helped clear a lot of that stuff up for you.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, even more than just a mentor, having a team, period, brings about clarity. Like, a lot of people feel like they have to dictate this whole experience, and it's really about trusting a body of work, which means a body of people too. Like, having a team is something that's gonna set people, number one, apart from those individuals just jack slamming it themselves. But on top of that, having a team puts you in this ecosystem where you just build this nucleus of trustworthy experience that travels amongst other people. Think about it. If you have a team that's 12 people, let's say, and if those 12 people know 12 people, and you're starting to gather some people in a room and to have a function going for yourself.
Yeah.
So I definitely say having people outside of yourself that you experience this with, in different positions and roles, and people have to, figure that out on their own. But just knowing how y'all all vibe, that's gonna bring this whole experience to another level. That's it.
Understand that. So let's get into the music. You've been pretty consistent, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of projects under your belt. So, you know what I'm saying, let's talk about where it started and, you know what I'm saying, how we got to that point. We'll have to dig into the first project and nothing like that. But let's talk about, you know what I'm saying, where it started, how you kind of developed your style. You say you jumped into the EDM lane. So you've done a couple things. So how'd you get to where you are now and you honed in on this style now that you're putting out?
Man, so I'm gonna tell you, first and foremost, just growing up in a church environment, a lot of people don't know in Black culture, you learn a lot about the music industry in church.
Oh yeah.
And so I knew how to construct an album when I was 8. I was making mixtapes and you know what I mean? That's something that you understood, because you're seeing them create the gospel track of this week's sermon or something. So it's you understand how to construct the album and a vibe just off of that alone. But going further, I think I was always making projects. I was always collecting music and figuring out a way to put it on a tape and share it with people.
Yeah.
So I was always making projects. I just wanted to really understand more about what I was even doing, because I kept seeing results that I didn't know how to hone in on the concept of. And so I think I was fortunate enough just to have so many recording experiences that I could do it on my own and actually put together stuff and have the outlets to put it out, to test the waters on how my peers liked it. And honestly, when I finally felt like I fine-tuned it is when I got into a class that one of my high school teachers ran that was about music business. And I understood the whole other aspect of like really putting a product together and like giving it to people. And I think from that point, that's when I really wanted to understand more about the business aspect, because I felt like I spent a lot of time on the talent.
Right. So the business, like what part of the business do you feel every artist should know? You know what I'm saying? Every artist needs to be doing, and you know, they shouldn't leave it up to other people to do.
Man, if I could really, which I should do, if I could pack all of my lessons into a book, that would be, man, something worth reading. But in like one sentence, the first thing I would say is artists should never go in with expectation. So they should never have expectance, but instead have acceptance. Because there's a lot of things that come with it that shape shift within, you know, the experience as a whole. So just understanding that you're gonna have to know your foundation while watching the world around you expand and change and evolve. Don't be too married to anything, you know, don't be too attached to anything. Be willing to accept what comes with the experience, because a lot of people have expectations, and then when those expectations get ruined, they fall into this like pit of grief, where I feel like you know, there's like 5 stages of grief. They talk about anger or denial, anger, manipulation, and depression. And then what's the 5th step? Acceptance. But if you deny that, you get stuck in your 4th walls of those first 4. So you gotta have an acceptance when it comes to getting to the music industry. Don't have expectations, for sure.
I understand that. So back to the music. So you dropped 2 projects last year?
I think I dropped 2.
You dropped 2 projects last year.
Sorta. Like I dropped 1 project and I tried to drop a deluxe, and Apple Music wasn't having it. So we decided to just gather more songs, and I put a 2nd mixtape out, but it was Just Because 4, and then I just dropped Just Because 5. And that's a part of a series that was really one of my first projects where I felt like I was understanding what I was doing. I felt really honed in on the Because name. I had just got a partnership with CSAC. They gave me a publishing company, so I Because I Am Publishing. And I wanted to put out my first project, so I put it out with DAPIP as a partnership. Shout out to this dude named James Swaver back in the day that showed me how to get a DAPIP account. I don't know if people know him, but like, that was crazy.
He was ahead of his time, I'll say that.
But yeah, I was able to partner with DAPIP and put a mixtape out, and I actually published it. And I think that was the first time I felt like I understood what I was doing, so I had Just Because series. And now, all the way up until the 5th project, I feel like some Lil Wayne type energy where I'm coming with what's next, man. I don't think I can not work on music. I'm always working on music, but I also feel like I'm ready to present people like an album, something that just strikes the chord with everybody.
So when can people look to expect something like that?
So I'm not gonna lie, I've actually been working on a proper debut album for a while now. Some people locally in Atlanta know about it, but like it's something that I've taken the process to know that like timing is outside of my hands. Timing is like figment for real. So like I don't even worry about the timing with it. This is the first thing where I've really learned that when it's in the mode to present, it'll present itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so this project is on its way, and there's no particular, it's to be announced still. But as I said, I'm always working on music. So as I've created this project, I've learned how to create better projects
Mm-hmm.
in the midst. And there's still some stuff that's coming out that'll be in the midst, whether it comes out before or after this project. I'm always working on music, man.
For sure. One thing I like to big you up on is your branding. Like you say, the Bcuz brand, you made that a thing. Also, I see like the vlogs and everything that you've been doing. Been staying busy, even with craziness of the world, you've been staying busy, putting out music, releasing videos. You know what I'm saying? Really, those concepts and things you was coming in on, like those are coming along. I see, like the couch.
Oh yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like you made that a thing, and you know what I'm saying. Those who follow you, they was able to see that. So, how do you come up with those themes, and how do you really like put those ideas together visually for those who support you?
Man, so I'm gonna tell you the truth. I could bullshit and be like, man, it's just like this or that, or like, bro. Sometimes I just be high as fuck in the moment, and the right thing grabs me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just sit still and listen, and like that voice speaks,
Mm-hmm.
and like I just know that like this is emotion to move on, and stuff feel put together.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just already put for me. I feel like there's just these times that like the outer body experience that I have with connecting with my art is not even just for me. I understand that it's just that vessel moving in motion. So as far as coming up with the concepts, man, just being open. There's this thing I learned I ain't gonna lie, it's this thing I learned in therapy called HOW. And it's HOW, honest, open-minded, and willing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I go into everything with that concept on how to do
Honest,
it.
open-minded, and willing, like that.
And so I feel like that's really where a lot of the concepts come from, is my therapy. Like, what is music? I don't know what it is for a lot of people, but for me, it's therapy. I pretty sure people know by now that mental health awareness is something that we should be looking into.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Especially in the music community, man.
Man, especially in the music community. And that's something that like a lot of people don't speak out too much on. But I'm somebody that's actually had to be in recovery myself. I've been in situations that led to downfalls to where I had to seek therapy myself.
Mm-hmm.
And just to be there's a lot that can be learned that we should start tapping in and sharing with the world, especially amongst our community, especially amongst Black people. I don't feel like it's been presented enough, and it's something that can be presented even more. But that's really where a lot of my concepts in music come from. It's like I'm trying to share therapy, hopefully, to somebody.
And you put that in your lyrics, you put that in your music, like all your verses, not all of them you going that deep, but you got some verses where you really, letting people in on certain experiences and your way, so, and a lot of those beats leave you that space to do so, and some is, matter of fact, let's talk about that. You don't just make music, you're a producer.
Yes.
You're very tuned in on the business side, which you talked about. Plus much more, and we can dig into that if you would like to. But how is it doing both? You hear about people more nowadays. Producing, making music. Producing their own tracks, putting out their own thing. That's them 100%.
I'm gonna tell you, there was a period of time where, like, in high school, I was the only guy doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Except for, like, maybe a couple of handful, but I was the only guy that was, like, trying to hone in on all of it. And then there were more people that came out respectfully, that you found out they did more skills, and it made me feel more comfortable in even doing that. So I found out it's like, that's actually what you do. Like, in the industry, I feel like you gotta be multifaceted. like, you know, I feel like you as well, you multifaceted. So I feel like it's something that, you know, you gotta come in this game doing more than one thing. But just as far as how I've been going about it, it's crazy because a lot of people tell you if you work in one, you suffer in another. But I'll go work my energies in anything I put my mind to, and like it starts to develop some type of seed. And so that's what's kept me even wanting to balance everything that I do, as far as like doing production, doing rapping, artistry, songwriting, business development, whatever it is. But as a whole, like I feel like because I'm such a connoisseur and because I really love it, that's what helps me become such a good student to even dabble in all these things. And like, you know, I want to eventually act, produce film. Like there's a lot of things that I want to do vastly, but I realize that there are moments in time where you see those openings and you go for it, or you just sit back and wait for that moment in time. And so I'm definitely patient on however I'm able to develop more, because that's how it's happened so far, for sure.
And how has your development been, you know, as an artist, you know, who's been doing all of these things, and I mean this development as in like artist development, which we've been hearing a lot just around how it's not a thing, but it seems to be coming back, you know.
Bro.
So they say, but what are some of those things that you know as artist development that's helped you out in your career, whether it's working on performing, interviewing like we're doing now, being good in front of a camera?
I'm gonna tell you, like in my youth, I was like a big preacher of being a bedroom rapper, a bedroom artist. But like the more that I've gone through the industry and things, try to fail, I definitely feel like you have to have that sense of professionalism to where you take this craft the way an athlete does with his. And whether you getting in the booth and just training yourself to be a better recording artist, whether you getting in rehearsals and training yourself to be a better performing artist, you gotta have all of that encompassing. Like artist development cannot be a lost art form, because what happens is a lot of these artists get burnt out and then they're forced to do these methodologies. And then what you do, you gotta turn them into what, like a battery or something? You feed them pills or drugs or whatever to keep them up and down just so they can function, because they weren't developed to actually do this properly like athletes were. If you put somebody that's never played football on a football field just because they one day ran some yards and looked good on a playground, they're getting demolished.
Yeah.
So I feel like no different in the music industry. You have to be developed. People have to be developed, because if not, you're gonna get burnt out. And like we're losing lives now over this. That's plain and simple. So artist development is always gonna be important. And I feel like we're just reaching that time to where people did the burnout and they're realizing, you know what, we gotta bring it right on back. So, and we have so many creative ways to do it now.
Absolutely. And you're very forward thinking. So I see you've already done NFTs. You've already been on that. You got a video out before, right?
Yes, sir. So actually, the idea originally was started out by my homie Rain. He's a game designer. And there's a whole team of people that I work with. It's called the Major League Creatives Network. It's just a team of people I went to high school with, and they all went to college for different things. And we came back together and brought our skills together. But everybody loves music, so that was the common denominator. And so like my homie was just telling me about how he wanted to build on this concept world of like virtual reality, augmented reality, just the future as a whole. And I have another homie that was just into design and understanding how people work, and you know, just art as an illustration form. That's my homie Nova, like just in a you know, in an actual illustrative role. And I have my homie Clay, he go by Slew, and that man is just like a map of his own, if you could understand his mind. Like he's his own map. But these kids like that I grew up with, we all came together and amongst with other peers, really just developed these ideologies of building, new concepts, new innovative thought on how to present ourselves. Like you hear about the gorillas, that augmented reality band.
Mm-hmm.
So just more of that, really blending culture. And so when it comes to like innovative thought and how we went about wanting to do this, it's just crazy that NFT exists, because that's something we were having conversations about wanting to see the future on.
Oh yeah.
And so of course we're gonna be the first people to tap into it. We wanted to create, I feel like we were the world's first music video NFT piece, just because we did a full feature-length video that we planned for like 2 years, that has real life and augmented reality, virtual reality, digital print, different art forms in one. I mean, that's what we're doing it for, right? So we want to be able to branch more than that. That's some Star Wars level concept.
And what's that called, so they can go find that too?
It's called Good Night, and it's featuring Homie Slew, Novus Notion, and Rain. And it's from a project from the Major League of Creatives Network, which is really just a description of people coming together to do dope shit.
Let's get back into the music one last time. What's coming? You know what I'm saying? What can we look forward to? Because we know you in the booth recording. You drop snippets on us all the time, whether it's something you just made or something you just produced. So, you know what I'm saying? What's to come for you?
Man, so first and foremost, I know this might be a little late, but there'll be people that will see the after effect. But I got a show this Friday, June 25th. Be performing some stuff that I think the majority of it should be released. So all of it's released, but it's just a set that I've never performed before. I think people really enjoy it. And as far as music, I'm locked in with my boy Beat Boy. So we got something on the way. I'm locked in with my boy Alkin. So we got stuff on the way. You already know, I'm working on some debut.
For sure.
That's something that's coming out with my team, DJ Rasaru, Ultimate, Mark, Nix, Jamor before. Like we just got a whole little solid thing that we're working on. So just know that's coming. Five Dog album on the way. That's all I can say. And also I'm gonna be acting, so people look out for me on the screen soon, man.
Alright.
Be doing some acting. I can't release too much on that, but I'm working on a series that's coming out, so people stay on the lookout for that for sure.
Hey man, there's some heavy things to look forward to. We sit here with Zay Bcuz, the one and only Zay Bcuz, man of many talents. Y'all tune in, see what he got going on, and it's a lot to come. It's Zay Bcuz.
Wow, because
Thanks for tuning in.